flow and go and go and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy like a dum-dum. East side homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is O City. All the way to the bay. Hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up yo Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make you work it out. Turn the volume up loud. This a draw crowd. Make it all shout. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Catch it all in the frenzy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go crazy. Already all the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA.
What's up? Hey, family. What is going on? It is 8:03, and we are right on time for yet another episode of The Scoop. We are so glad that you have decided to come on, slide on in on this beautiful, if you are in the O City, fall Tuesday. Y'all, fall is coming. I'm so excited. It was chilly today, okay? We were able to pull out our boots and our long sleeves. So I am feeling all of everything, okay, on this fine Tuesday evening. And we are so glad that you are here to get a little bit of this energy, okay? If you have not noticed, we are an interactive show around here at The Scoop. We want you to get very familiar with your live controls, which means we want you commenting. The first thing that we need you to do is rep your city, okay? Drop down in that comment section and tell us where you are repping from, where you are tuning in from. That city and state lets us know just how far and wide the Scoop's reach is, how big our net, how wide our net is casting from week to week. So we want to, go ahead and invite you for that nice family icebreaker and letting us know where you are tuning in from. After you are finished with that, please go ahead, hit that share button, okay? Sharing is caring. Let your people know where you'd like to hang out, where you like to chit chat, where you like to expand your mind and do a little, right? Makes you feel a little pinky out when you say that. That's how you feel when you leave the Scoop. You get a little entertainment, you get a little education. Sometimes it's a good time, okay? So be sure and hit that share button. Let your people know where you like to hang out from. Yes, good job, Terry. Just like that. Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's what we like to see. What's up, Oklahoma? So yeah, in addition to hitting that share button, dropping your comments, we invite you to join the fam, okay? It's not happenstance that you are here, okay? Whether you were tagged, whether you were getting your scroll on and you having to say, hey, who are these beautiful brown people on my phone? Who are these brown people on my screen? It's us, yo. We are family, okay? And we want you to be locked in on a week-to-week basis. And to do that, you can follow us on all of our social media channels, which are YouTube by following at The Scoop Show. You can hit us up on Facebook at Real Scoop Show and on Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show. And on Facebook and Instagram, I know for sure, we always post all of our hot topics. We have good conversations. We post news stories that may not make it to this show. So it is nonstop conversation all the time. We also have a Scoop group, okay, that we invite you to join. So search The Scoop on Facebook and look for the group and go ahead and hit that join button. It's like 3 little questions. Answer the questions. Come on in. Join in so you can be a part of these hot topics before they hit the air each week. Okay. I think that's it. How you doing, bro?
I am good. Glad to be here. Glad for another good show. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm 42.
Yes, you are. Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Mm, mm, mm. Happy birthday to you. I am not the singer, but I will come with the energy, okay? I will come with all of the energy for the birthday. My brother will tell you I call him every year and sing to him terribly, terribly, okay? But I'm the only one that can wake him up singing like I sang the happy birthday song. So yeah, I'm gonna bring the energy, not the notes, but I got the energy.
Listen, that's half the battle right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Half the
So happy
battle.
birthday to you. Coming on into 42, looking real
Yeah,
good,
thank you.
bringing this
Thank you. Thank
this
you.
good innovativeness to the
Yeah,
new year.
yeah. I'm happy. It's a good weekend. It's good to be celebrated. So got a chance to rest, and so yeah, got a chance to be booed up a little bit. So can't beat that.
Yes, yes,
So, yeah,
I love it.
it was good. It was good. How you doing?
I'm really good. I'm really good. It's been today feels like a Monday. Okay, when you sent me the links this morning, I was like, we done got and then I thought I worked from home yesterday, so work from home days feel like kind of work, but not really. So today felt like a Monday all over. So I'm worked out. I made it. So I'm gonna say it was
I get it. Trust me, I do get it. I get it absolutely because it's like when I was the same way for me since I got back so late. I was like, oh shoot, I got.
oh yeah, you hit us up at 4:30 this morning. I said, ooh. I was up, but I was thinking to myself.
I knew you was up because you always up early. Look, and then when I sent it, I was like, I wasn't expecting nobody to see this till like after I sent it, I was like, oh, I hope nobody has their notifications on where it make noise. And I seen you drop. I was like, look, I seen your name drop. I was like,
of course.
Of course.
Yeah. I said, oh yeah, he's still on that trip time. He's still in I ain't got nothing to do mode. So I'm just up looking at it. Yeah.
No, but it was good.
Well, I'm glad you made it home. I'm glad you enjoyed your birthday and you were celebrated. That makes my sisterly heart happy.
I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it.
Yes.
We got a good show tonight.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, like we said earlier, if you have not hit the share button, y'all hit the share button, and of course throughout this entire show, drop them comments. We got some hot topics. We need your feedback on. So, you ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Go ahead and do it. So y'all let's go. Of course, before we do that, you all know Hot Topics. At least this segment of Hot Topics is brought to you by Bob Shamrock. Bob Shamrock is Black-owned business. It is the gas station on 2901 Northwest 10th Street in Oklahoma City, owned by our very own Kels Johnson and her crew. So y'all stop by there, pull up and fill up, as they say. So fill up your gas tank as well as your belly with that good barbecue at Bob Shamrock, 2901 Northwest 10th Street in Oklahoma City. All right.
Little side note before we get into this, y'all, here in Oklahoma City, it's Fair Week. Okay.
Yes, so she's
it
right
is
across.
Fair Week.
She's right
Sis
across.
didn't get them Fair Week funds last year. Okay, we know this is like Sis is right across the street from the fairgrounds. If you, your crew, your babies, them, your church group, anybody rolling through, y'all got them big buses, you got your big bodies, y'all trying to flex at the fair, pull up to Bob Shamrock and get it in before you go on and do that circle through the parking lot pimping thing. I don't know if y'all do that. I don't go to the fair no more. Okay, I don't know if that's still a thing. Somebody is still bending the block at the fair, bending the block at Bob's. Then go to the fairgrounds, okay? Get your belly full, get your little snack, get yourself, but hit up Bob's and show Sis some support this fair season, okay? This location,
it's right across the street, right across the street,
okay? Go on and support Sis this year for
right
fair.
Right across the street. All right, let's go.
Now we can go.
Here we go. So this, I can't remember who posted this one, but it says how females shoot their shots. Yeah. So she's just staring. She's staring. She walks away and said, "Whatever, his loss." I'm interested. This one I thought was very funny. Actually, I thought this was pretty funny. But what's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, it's funny but accurate. It for a lot of women. This is very accurate down to his loss. It's hilarious, but and I think that we sometimes get confused in what showing interest and shooting shots mean. It's one thing to be the initiator of contact, the initiator of interest and all of that, which to me is what shooting a shot is. And it's another thing to, once you've gained the attention of someone that you have potential interest in, showing that you're interested. Like, what do you want them to do? Because now, we can't have the conversations that we have about people being too aggressive, not taking hints, assuming that, there's something there that isn't, all of that, if we literally just gonna sit here and look at each other. Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Right.
The point of romantic relationships is that I'm trying to put you in a space different than regular folks. But if you're gonna act like regular folks the whole time, then why would I do that? Help me understand. So yeah, this made me giggle because yep. Yep. We gotta find the middle ground.
And I think what you said is accurate, that there's a lot of young women or women peers, excuse me, who are taught that you're not supposed to initiate. And so I've been saying for years, like, y'all gotta, that's fine if you don't want to initiate, but like, send a smoke signal, like, hey, I'm over here, like something, because there are, and when I used to say, people who were like, well, if it was meant to be, he would see me. No, that's not how this works. Like, folks is busy, and folks, and folks are like head down doing what they're trying to do. And even if they are interested, it might be like, oh, she's nice looking. And if there's no go signal, he gonna be like, oh, and a staring does not mean I want you to talk to me. So like, do something like. And
it's interesting to me because just like women pay attention to men before we allow them in, so to speak, or give that okay, men do the same thing before they approach. So if he's watched you be aggressive or forward thinking and all of the other things that you're passionate about, like where you get up and say, like, this is my thing, like you're engaged in it, and then he shows interest and you disengage, or it's just like, like, what does that say to him? That's not the time for you to fall back necessarily. It's not the time for you to necessarily go all in, but it's not the time for you to fall back, especially if this man has had the opportunity to watch you move, like in your real life. I think we forget that. Like, they have, especially in social media, people have access to you. They can see you when they're not, you don't know it. This algorithm thing has it where folks, people see you when you don't even like. I was telling Wynn before we started the show, like, there's certain folks that I saw a comment. I wasn't on the post. It was something I'm not even interested in, but it was scrolling in my feed and I saw my friend's comment stood out. I don't even know what they were talking about, but I was like, oh yeah, I saw that. So yeah, it's people see you.
Absolutely. I think you have to be, not only do you have to be aware that people see you, but that, like you said, again, that we judge as a man, if we see how we're judging how we're going to respond, or if we're going to respond by how you respond to other things. So if we see you interacting with men, and then we come and try to comment and talk, and you don't interact with us, for some, that is a red. That's a red. That's not a go signal. That's a stop signal. Because we understand that some ladies won't interact with dudes who they don't like.
Listen, if I'm on a homegirls post or a person I think is a friend too many times and you skip my comments, I'm going ahead and release. I'm gonna head on out. You know what I mean? So like, I can absolutely understand what that means. For a man. No, I'm not finna keep. You won't keep having me.
No, you let me know. You let me know you're not interested.
That's not cute.
Yeah. So
now I'm thirsty. Now you're thirsty.
Right. Why he keep on mine and he keep?
Yeah.
And that's why I always say, but if you liked him, he wouldn't be thirsty. You'd be happy. But again, so it's got to be more. So I would say again, I've all been saying this. Like, if you want, you got to do more than stare. Like, don't be afraid to initiate. Like, you can initiate a conversation. It's okay,
especially after the initial interest has been stated. Like, now it's a back and forth.
You can initiate a conversation. Like, it's not even, like, just to be like, hey, laughing about something, or just a conversation. Like, and then, like, let it lead naturally into that if that's what it's going to lead into. But this whole, I'm just going to stand here and pretend like, the Lord is going to make him turn his eyes and fix his gaze upon thyself. No. And it's just, that's a fairy tale. That's not even biblical. That's a fairy tale. Let me just throw that out there. So, like, you can start a conversation. It's okay. And I get the whole, a lot. And I think, to be honest, here's another thing. I'm going to throw this up. I think that for some, this is a way to hide the fear of rejection. So, for some people, this is like, I don't want to be rejected. So I'm just going to play it safe and play it cool and be distant. But sometimes that's going to get you single.
Lots of times.
Amen. Yeah. Speaking of staring, let's go ahead and jump. I purposely put this one next. I just want to say that. Wait, where is this one at? Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, fellas. So Damien says, fellas, when meeting a woman, use your eye gaze as a gauge. Feminine women will not hold the gaze for long. After about 2 to 4 seconds, she will look down or away or fidget with something. A masculine woman will not do this. She will hold your gaze for as long as possible and attempt to get you to submit to her. Don't avert your gaze. Let her avert hers first. Again, you will only meet this challenge with masculine women. I've done this time and time again before a date to simply read what I'm dealing with. Also to simply gain position. A woman that is into you will not be able to hold your gaze. She will literally melt into emotional confusion just by you looking at her. Hashtag alpha gaze. I had to say like alpha gaze.
Melt into emotional confusion. Is that what she'll do?
I bet you somebody agree with that just because they like melt into emotional confusion.
Oh yeah. I'm sure lots of folks like this. No. I'm a whole man out here if that's the case. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't whose mans is this? Whose mans are these? These things. Like, I don't, what do you say to this? Like,
there's so many reasons that this isn't even good. So first of all, I'm not looking at no woman counting how long she's there. Let me just throw that out there. 1,000, 1,002.
She looking away because you weird, and this is
or she's uncomfortable with people staring at her. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with people staring at me. So does that mean I'm a feminine woman? Because I don't like people. I'm like, that's uncomfortable. Why are you looking at me? Mm-hmm. I got something with my nose. Like,
unnatural eye contact is uncomfortable.
Right. So I think there's also if you work, back to the previous post, if you work in corporate America or you work in a certain environment, you understand when somebody's looking at you, you look back. That doesn't mean that's not a feminine or masculine trait. That is a part of the cultural norm of that environment. So if I meet you in that, or you coming from that environment, or you don't even know me, then your proclivity is going to be to do what you believe is normal, which is to look back, or to look and nod, look and smile, or look and not look and smile. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole lot of other dimensions to this. I mean, I get what he's trying to say, but no, It's
This
just
is
not.
pimp behavior. This
Yeah,
is
it's
this
not.
is what pimps do. This is what pimps do. This is what slaves did to the folks to try and tell, like the whole "don't look at me" thing. Like the fact that you would value the fact that she doesn't feel that she can look at you, like that's a cowering of her character. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's where I'm like, no, I don't get this. Like I don't get this because
Yeah.
eye contact is a sign of social skills. You have the ability to conduct yourself socially in a way that does not detract from you being in that space. Like you said, the corporate thing, but even growing up, we were told, look at you, look at me when I'm talking to you. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you talk to you connect with people. It's not a, it doesn't have to be a thing, but yes, we're having a conversation. Who else am I supposed to be looking at? Like, do you want me talking to my lap? Like, if that's the type of, he gonna be looking for a long time if he think he's getting ready to find that type of woman. If we talk about how women have changed,
I, yeah, and then I'm like thinking, I don't know this whole game. I don't even know what he mean by to gain position. What
like it's a
position?
power thing. Like I see him
Yeah,
seeing this as a power thing, and I'm like,
but
the
is that what
position
we're
in the
doing?
conversation, the position in the
Right. This is a date. What position are
yeah.
we? What are we talking about? So I just thought it was strange. I think that there is. I do think, I'll say this. I think that if he really wanted to use this gaze thing for anything, then I think one thing you can use it for is to determine how she feels. That you can get a sense of how a woman is feeling about you by that. Because he's correct in the sense that if a woman like you and is really feeling you, if you look at her, she gonna get giggly and smiley and hee and bubbly and that kind of thing. Like that shy, oh my god, butterfly in the stomach thing is going to come across her face and her body language. But this idea of whether she's masculine or feminine as a woman, I can't get with that.
I agree.
I can't get
And
with
and to me, even as a woman, that comes in that giggly, bubbly thing comes in stages. Rarely is that at first glance. Am I gonna give in all of that vulnerability? Give
right.
in that you make me that vulnerable. That's
Right.
after a couple stolen glances. That's a flirting that's happening.
Right.
That you can get to the emotional pool of confusion. Not simply because, like he said, he done figured this out before dates. Like that's something you've gotten together before you've even set out on the date. How? Can you only imagine how those first 15 minutes of that? And then the conversation thereafter, after you put me in the masculine woman category. Yeah, like now are you gonna try and like talk me down off of this space now the rest of the date?
Or is the date gonna go bad now because you think I'm a masculine,
I just see him, pulling out his this is very hotepish. I see this going very, 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 very leftish.
they say oh god.
I need Shanae to pop up with her gift. Excuse your black ass part.
Oh, where is Shanae, by the way?
I didn't do my tags like I normally do. I hope sis is scrolling and happens to see us. Shanae, if you here, tap in, sis. I'm sorry, I missed my tags today.
I completely forgot to do that too. Oh god. Look, now you got me having to tag her.
Yeah, please do. That was too. Yeah, but this one is just one I can't go with. These types of men I can't fool with. As friends, as relationships, I'd be like, boy, shut up, like that, because I don't like to tell men that like that with that type of tone and energy. But you do too much of this around me, just to just, boy, shut up. I might want to hear all that. Like that's the space I put that in. So I'm like, shut up.
It's just weird to me. It's weird to me. All right, let's go.
Yep. Next.
This is what I actually probably this is the conversation I think I want to have tonight.
This the one.
Let's see. This is the one for me because I'm so sick of this.
Right, LaGayla. That other rib. I want the other rib.
Right, maybe. Hey, Teresa, how you doing? Oops, I didn't mean to do that quick. All right, so maybe this is the one I've been wanting to have because I'm sick of these. I'm just gonna be honest.
Oh yeah.
All right. So if a man earns $160,000 a year and a woman earns $235,000 a year, should the man pay the majority of the bills? Go for it. You go first.
Just looking at these numbers and not knowing what their day-to-day expenses are, I mean, he could pay their bills if that is what works for them and how their life is set up. But ideally, I'm thinking between them making all of this money, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him to pay all the bills. Like my first thought was how, thinking of the way that most people live. But I mean, it boils down to if that works for them. These are silly to me.
They make $495,000.
Yeah, so they have a pretty nice life. I don't see him being able to sustain the y'all.
Here, can I? To me, this
because I don't know why we can't.
So to me, these sound. When I read these sound like single people trying to figure out how to protect themselves in marriage.
Yes.
Not saying that married people don't have these conversations. I'm not saying that, but the overabundance of these, especially lately, seems to me like it's a bunch of people about to get married and y'all trying to figure out how y'all gonna do the money. So here it is. So let me help you. You got three options. You got a couple of options. Option one person pays all the bills and you live within that budget. Option two. Option two is each of you have your own account and then you have a bill account. You agree to who's going to put what into this bill account and you pay the bills from that. Option three, all the money goes into one account and y'all budget all of the money the way that you're going to spend it to meet the financial goals that you have as a couple. I don't tell people as a financial coach, I don't tell people which to pick, but I do say all of the money, no matter what system you put in place, all of the money is everybody's money. All of the money that comes into the marriage is the marriage's money. Now, how you choose to separate that is absolutely up to you. But you've got to figure out how to do that. And you cannot, if you want a healthy marriage, and I say this in most instances, there are definitely instances where I would go against what I'm about to say. You cannot hide money from each other. Mm-hmm. So as long as you know that in this instance, $495,000 a year is coming into this house, and we need to figure out what are our goals, what system works best for us, who is better at paying the bills. Mm-hmm. The question is, should the man pay all the bills? Well, it really is he the best one to pay all the bills, or is she the best one to pay all the bills? Like, if the intention or the fear is that we're gonna spend all her money and he just gonna be out chilling, no, all the money is the marriage money.
It's the marriage money.
So let's not. So really, who's paying is irrelevant because the marriage is paying. Mm-hmm. Every couple is paying. Yep. And so you got to figure out how it works best systematically in your marriage. Mm-hmm. Like you said, if them making $495,000 sounds great, but if you got $2 million in debt, yes, everybody paying the bills.
Yeah. There's so many more layers to these types of conversations. And it really boils down to me when I see these types of things. The question isn't who should pay the bills. It is more or less, can you be okay knowing that these are your numbers? Because it's more mental that gets people vexed. And paying bills is paying bills. You got the same, you know what I mean? You're going to have to pay the bills. If it's the bills that you need to sustain your life, the bills are going to have to get paid. However, if you have an issue as a woman being that your percentage might be a little bit higher simply because your income is higher, then you may have to want to adjust your mindset or find a man that's got a higher percentage that he can offer than you. Those two things, you know, I don't, or what?
Or live within a budget based upon his income.
Yeah, but see, women who feel this way ain't gonna do that. That's
the point.
That's why
I
ain't trying to sell no dreams. Because a woman who has an issue with this percentage thing ain't gonna be for the whole live within his means. That's not going to be a viable option. That's why she asking silly ass questions like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, who should pay the majority? Even though listen, ma'am, you need to pay bills in a different house. That ain't the house you need to be trying to pay no bills in. Then you know what I mean? You don't sound like you want to pay bills. So, like, just we got to be honest with ourselves, because that option ain't gonna work for that woman. If we having this question, that's not gonna work for her. And fellas, if you gonna have a problem trying to make a woman who is used to a $235,000 lifestyle solo live down to $160,000 lifestyle simply to make you feel good, if she's willing to add to the lifestyle so that you all can live that 400, what'd you say, 400 and what? 495. Like, that's also going to be a problem. So you need to understand who you are and who you are trying to join up with, because those thought processes don't always, that's a mindset thing. That money number is going to shift all throughout your life. What I was making 10 years ago is not what I'm making now, and it damn sure better not be what I'm making 10 years from now. Okay, so if you're talking about doing a lifestyle life roller coaster with somebody, these numbers are going to always shift. Anything can happen, and you have to carry it all, or you can't carry anything. Like, imagine if it's flipped and you don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't.
I think the bigger question. So again, the bigger question to me is, what kind of lifestyle do you want? Because if the sum total of our money discussion is who paying the bills, we're way off.
We're having the wrong conversations.
Like, okay, so even if I did pay the majority of the bills, making 160, what are we doing with the rest of the money? Like, listen, are we starting a business? Are we saying
we can still be broke?
Is this college fund? Right? Is this what are we doing? Like, what are our financial goals as a marriage? Like, are we trying to retire in 15 years? So we gonna take your 235 and put it all up and live off my 160? That's fine.
Yep.
All of that is fine. But again, the conversation stopping at who pays the majority of the bills is really problematic, because even if he does, what does that mean for the family?
Yep.
What does that mean for the goals? What does that mean? Like just be honest and say you are afraid you're going to get taken advantage of. And my answer to that is that if you are still afraid that this particular man is going to take advantage of you financially, then you don't need to marry this man. Y'all not ready to be married because you don't trust him with your money. And again, like we've been saying, if you can't trust a man with your money, please tell me how in the world you trusted him with your body. And please tell me how you're going to trust him to have children. And please tell me how you're going to trust him to live in the house with him every day. And please tell me how are you going to trust him to be the person to protect your soul? Like, what are we doing?
Hit him with one more please. There's another please in there somewhere, because I don't understand. You were so right. That's the word. That's a word. Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, the money conversation is just the top level of what we're doing. So if we can't come together on this, if we can't say, listen, we got $2 million worth of bills. This is how we're gonna pay it off for the next 10 years. Cool, and be on the same page. Or, hey, I'm gonna take my 160 and bankroll it and put it in savings, and we're gonna take your 235 and pay the monthly bills, and that's gonna be able to make us go on vacation this many times a year, and we're gonna blah, blah, blah. Like, these are the conversations that you need to be having.
Strategize.
Not who's paying the bills. Jesus Christ. So poverty.
Needless to say, we won't be seeing this subject matter for a while on the scoop.
Poverty. I'm just so sick of it.
We're kind of over it. This has been our TED Talk on the budgeting conversation.
If you like a budgeting class, y'all holler at me and I'll take care of you.
That's option 4. That's the asterisk right there. Okay, get some help. Get some
that you
coaching.
won't pay for. Because anyway, I digress.
See, next subject.
Oops, sorry. Hold on. I done actually hit the button. Hold on. Come back. I done buttoned you off the show. I done hit you.
Don't get rid of me. We ain't through me. The subject, not the host.
Option 3 for me. Hey, again, that's what works.
Yeah.
Drill says she likes option 2.
That was the joint account. That was the separate account, and then having one account to pay the bills out of. That generally works for me too, because I have a mixed mindset of I need some of my money, and then we can have marriage money.
And that's fine. Like I said, my thing is I always said, like I said, with exceptions, I just don't believe in hiding. Like, don't hide it. Like, if you don't have your own money, and you could do the same thing with one account. You just take it out and move it. You know what I mean? Like, it all comes into one place, and then we move it where it needs to go. And if one of those so happens to be your own personal account, cool. Because some people don't do well with the personal account. They need cash, or they need a prepaid card that once the money goes,
it's gone.
Yeah, some people, it just depends on how you spend, like what level of discipline you have with money. And people got to be honest. Like, I'm not good at a debit card because I overdraw because I don't check my balance. So I don't need that. Just give me the cash, and when the cash is gone, I know I'm done for the week.
See, and I'm the opposite. I can't do cash. James is the cash person. James will have way too much cash on him that I feel that a person should be carrying around with. He like, they can come try and get it if they want to. And I'm like, but why? You know, I'm like, me, I only have cards. I tell the kids all the time, do not come asking me for no lunch money. I ain't got nothing. I can go to that app and slide you some cash digitally, but I can't do nothing for you if you need coins in your hand. I can't help you because if I lose it, I've lost whole rent money orders. I have lost whole ATM envelopes before. I do not carry cash because I'm bad with cash. This app out, I ain't gonna lose this phone. I can slide out, I can toggle all that over. Nope. Before I get back to the car, good. You ain't got no more money. You better swipe fast, sis. Like, because I'm locking it down, okay? Locking it down. You better get all forms of communication and Wi-Fi access when you get them cards, chick, because it's a wrap as soon as I get to that. So I get to that phone.
Hey.
Yeah. But that works because you gotta have that balance. Yeah.
Whatever works for you, that's fine. Shanae says I like separate accounts, but I don't mind paying more bills if I make more money, but I definitely like separate accounts. Yeah, and I think I can see that because I think I know a lot of people who are you still want that sense of independence. You do your thing that you don't necessarily want to have to talk about. There are certain things, again, depending on where you are in your stage of money management and financial, and money in your relationship that you have to do. I mean, you got to decide, like, if you have I remember when we had a one account, and it was like anything over a certain amount, you got to tell the other person. And it was like, this is ridiculous. This is getting, you know what I mean? Like, or, having to communicate like, hey, we getting low. I'm about to go to lunch. Did you need, what I mean? Like, and that can be difficult. So having your own separate account where you don't have to worry about that can be beneficial. So you just have to figure out, again, what works, what doesn't work, how you both relate, how you spend money, what you need, what you don't need, what you don't want to see, because some people don't want to look at it. Like, just whatever works for you. So, all right. No more money talk. What's she saying?
$5 on See, that don't do that. I'm grown. Don't be don't do that.
I mean, that's not a value for everybody.
Yeah.
So again, if that's something you value, if you value your lattes and and all right, if it's in the budget, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out.
I used to be me at the beauty supply before I locked my hair and really got into making my own hair products and stuff. Honey, my first bounce check was to Ebony Beauty Supply. Sis does not play about her hair, okay? The beauty supply was where you could find me, okay? I cashed that check and swooped right on into that beauty supply parking lot.
Oh Lord.
So
Hey.
yeah, I wish you would ask me about why is this why? Because it is. Because it is.
Listen, no judgment here.
Hey,
No.
then I got a job at Ebony because like we ain't bouncing checks. I needed my money after that. I wasn't making enough. They got one bounce check out of me. It was the first and last.
That's smart though.
Hey, that was the flyest summer I ever had. Okay, stay cute.
Stuff came in. You was like, I'm gonna need one of
That's
these.
me right there. Yeah.
You get that this Friday with my paycheck.
Listen, that was in my weave days. Okay, I was cute. I was really cute. We've gotten totally off subject. My bad.
You good?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, listen, hold on. Well, let's do this one since we already off subject. Let's pause for this commercial and go ahead and do this. So yeah, for those who don't know, yes, I don't know if y'all know. So our sister LaGayla wrote her first book. So called Everybody Goes Potty. And so it is a book about potty training. And so if you are interested, y'all, it's on pre-order. Pre-order the book today. Go ahead and get your book. Again, go over to PayPal or her Cash App. Everybody, what they say? Everybody Goes or Venmo at LaGayla McGahee. Y'all go pre-order her book. It's only $20. Get it today. Everybody Goes Potty. All right. We had time. And you eating anyway. So
I could have had just a few more seconds.
Look, I'm just glad it's not me tonight. I'm so glad it's not me this time. I ate before the show this time.
Yeah. I gave Win my disclaimer before we started. I said, yeah, it's me this time. I got my burger sliced up in like 6 little pieces over here so I can take cute little dainty bites. But I have to eat from my medicine. So yeah, it's a process, but you're gonna have to deal with me for a couple bites so I can take this medicine real quick.
Hey. All right.
Congratulations, LaGayla. So proud of you, sis. We got authors at the Scoop fam. Yes.
Absolutely. So there we go. You're welcome. All right. Last but definitely not least, here we go. Cheating on a man is deeper than people realize. It destroys his outlook on love, his future relationships, and his peace within himself.
I'm mad they put meth on this. He ain't got nothing to do with this conversation. I don't know why they put that beautiful man on this silly ass meme like that. He ain't got nothing to do with this.
No, he's like, wait, what I do?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? But I mean, one would think it appears that way. I don't believe it though. It appears as though that cheating on a man is deeper than people realize. It does appear to destroy his outlook on love, his future relationships, and his peace within himself. Like I have seen that happen to men. Why it rocks their whole character core as far as relationships are concerned after being cheated on one time, bum fuzzles the hell out of me. Like that's where they lose me. You know, that's where because cheating hurts. Like being cheated on hurts. Like that can rock you. It can make you feel all of those things. It can hurt you deep. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not going to discredit that. But the inability to recognize that that was an individual situation, that the next person may not be the same, that, you know, that all of the growth and healing and, you know, grown up thought processes just go away after that. You ask some folks that have this conversation, and it's the time that their first girlfriend, when they was 15, you know, they found her behind a thing with the football player, and it's been around, man, miss these girls, like all of them. You know, what? Like what? So I think it gets to be a little bit much. Like I can get to it to a point, and then I'm just not going. I'm just not going after a certain point, because then it becomes just excusing bad behavior. I'm serious, Stephanie. Like, I'd be so confused. Like, what? Like, it's not supposed to do all of these things for us. Like, we're just supposed to have this bounce back capability that just gets us, oh, it's okay. I'm coming back anyway. Like, because it's what we do. Are you kidding me right now? Like, what does that do? Does repetitive cheating somehow level us up to a different stage of womanhood? And we're just supposed to be like, there's no badges that come with bouncing back after being cheated on. Like, what are we talking about here? So yeah, I'm not going down that unaccounted for rabbit hole.
Yeah. So my first thought was, I'm with you. Yes, it is very much so deeper than people realize. That it was the last sentence that I'm like, it destroys his peace with him in himself. I don't know that part. That was the only part I was like, nah, fam, I can't get you with that. I think it does. It affects our ability to trust, but I think that also has a lot to do with typically with just the fact that the way we handle it. So our natural, not everybody, so don't everybody jump at me and say this ain't true. Oh, we ain't gonna do that.
You know they will.
I know. But I think in general, our thing of like just jumping to the next one or getting her back, or like a lot of us establish this this thing within ourselves where after this happens to us, now we start feeling like we gotta do it to other women. I think that is probably as problematic than anything else, because now you got to walk around with this whole thing of, am I gonna get back what I did to other people? Like this thing that happened to me happened, but I didn't properly deal with it, so now I'm in a position where it could happen to me again because, oh shoot, I just I messed up again. So I think that's part of the issue. But we just got, I mean, again, if a woman cheating on you destroys your peace, that's a problem.
That's long term, especially. Like, I can see where it shakes you initially. I can see that bothering you. But long term, if you still hold on, your peace has never regained its peacefulness. Yeah, we got a problem.
I mean, again, in the terms of your future relationships, it should shape your future relationship. It shouldn't destroy your outlook on love or future relationships. Because again, when stuff like this happens to us, we should get wiser. Like, we're going to go through a process. Everybody, but men, we're going to go through a process where we're unsure. We're going to go through a process where it's hard for us to trust. We're going to go through a process where, where we want to be careful. It's like, stepping when you're halfway dipping your toe in the water type thing. Like, we're going to do that. That's a part of the human process of recovering. But like, it can't last. Like, you have to, because if you do, you're developing some very unhealthy practices and some very unhealthy attachments to him. Like, how do you can't properly attach to somebody like that if you don't admit that this is where I am. And like, that's not fair to another person to have to live their life skating around the fact that you don't have peace because some girl in the third grade broke up with you for
I ain't gonna be able to do
it. It's just not, it doesn't work like that. For men or women, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work.
Nope.
You gotta do better. Let's just say. So Stephanie says, yeah, I agree. At 37 years old, I was dating a guy who was 40, and I noticed he had some old issues. I asked him who hurt him, and this fool said his college girlfriend from 20 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. Happens quite often. I would say this. You know what? I would even go so far to say this, that a good majority of the men and women that I have come in contact with from a counseling standpoint, most of their issue either stems back to a parent or the first person they dated. Like 90% of the time, it's one of those two.
Mm-hmm. 95. I could see a parent more than I could see someone you date. Parents like created your foundation for life. But your first relationship, stop it.
I get it, but it's like you got to move on.
Right.
You have to move, even with the parent. You got to move on.
You
Like,
do, but I mean, I could have a better understanding of why it's still hanging around and shows up in different ways, depending upon the thing. Depending upon the thing, I can see why it lingers. And sometimes probably not even some of the deeper things that we might imagine. Like there's some things that parents do that really can twist the way a person does life that we don't even really focus on until later on when we're sitting on somebody's couch. You know what I mean? But at that point, we now realize, okay, this isn't really how things work. We have to be willing to fix it. You got to be willing to fix it because it's not how it's supposed to go.
You're supposed, like I said, you're supposed to grow from it.
Yeah. You're
supposed to, experience the hurt. If again, first of all, I'm not suggesting that we should experience hurt, but if you go through a situation like that where you are cheated on or just, painful breakup, you go through it, you learn from it, you learn, you gain more wisdom about dating, you gain more understanding about yourself. Like you go through all of those processes and you improve and you inspect better and you collect better data and you learn how to, spot red flags better or faster or, learn what's a non-negotiable for you. Like those are the things that are supposed to come from that experience, not 20 years of I'm angry at my college girlfriend. That's just not how it goes. So yes, Stephanie, they're choosing to stay attached.
Yep. And that's where I check out.
And that's, you know what? Let me I'll say are choosing. Some don't know how, but most are choosing. Yes. And I give the benefit of the doubt. I give the benefit of the doubt for some that don't know how but are trying. There's some people who I've seen who are actually trying to but don't know how to do it. And then there are some people who the majority are choosing to. Yeah. Because now it becomes a almost a safety barrier, like a protection.
It's always it's interesting to me to watch people have such frustration and disdain for relationships and dating and the potential of being hurt and this is how bad folks do you and all this other stuff, but are still actively engaging in the activities that lead you to that space. So I always really, really wonder if this is the energy that you're bringing into it, what could you possibly expect to take from it?
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And all the fear that is wrapped up in data. I don't have time for that. What I look like spending all this money and I don't. What if I spend all this and I don't? What if it and I don't? Like, then you don't need to be out. My mama always taught me, you don't risk what you can't afford to lose. If for whatever reason you can't afford to lose them little coins, you don't have the time, you got too much going on, you too busy to deal with what could possibly happen if you fully engage in said thing, stay out of there. I don't understand why, that you can't complain about the bad parts of it if you're not fully trying to engage in the good stuff. That's not how it works.
And you can't have one without the other.
They come together. So no, you're not supposed to expect hurt at every relationship, but you're supposed to have an understanding that in love and in dealing with other people, hurt can happen.
It's a possibility.
It can happen.
Yep, it's a possibility. and you're supposed to, do the best you can to mitigate it. But you can't mitigate what you don't know. And so again, that's why sometimes, even though again, and I'm not saying this in general and for everything, but what some of these experiences are good. That's why dating is good, because it gives you the opportunity to experience that person and to experience yourself also where you are. I was thinking today, thinking about that this passage of scripture that says that perfect love cast away all fear. And I was thinking through it, and I said the problem, what's built into that thought is that you're going to encounter the fear. Yeah. So you're going to encounter the fear, but the way love handles it is that love allows you to be in a position where it helps you to resolve this fear that you have.
Yep.
So therefore, if you are have this, using Stephanie's example, 20-year-old college thing that's still, then meeting the person who really cares about you and who really loves you, you're supposed to be safe enough and vulnerable enough to share this, and then they help you, not do it for you, help you process that so that you can come through that and show that, hey, listen, I'm not her, I'm not him. I didn't do this, and I recognize that this is a sensitive area, so I can be sensitive to this thing that you are working through.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think I like what you said, that when you come into it with all of these, and this includes this whole little money thing that we were just talking about. That's just another example of it. But when you come in defensive, when you come in expecting to be hurt and expecting to be in pain or to experience pain, that's typically what you're going to encounter.
That's what you're gonna get. Yeah.
That's what you're looking for, and that's what you're calling. So that you're calling that for to you.
Thanks, Cicely. Now I have that in my head, like just that part, the loop, and ooh, and then that's it, and then we go right back to let me. Just that fast. That's all it took.
So yeah. All right. What we at? Is that it for this half? First half?
If it is, we right on time. We doing real good.
We is on time.
Check us out.
We is on time. All right. What we got? What's first? Here you go. You go first.
Hey, y'all. We were talking about my beauty supply addiction earlier today. If you too are a recovering product, I invite you to come to the safe side over at Elegance by Design, where we create products that not only satisfy your urge for an amazing product, it lasts a very long time. So you don't have to go back and forth. No bouncing checks with Elegance by Design. For two, your products last enough so it gets you through to your next payday. Okay. So this particular product, in addition to all of the others, the Blocked and Beautiful Braid Balm, works beautiful with our sexy shea butter, as well as our sleek and sexy edge control products. All of these together will have your ponytails and edges together. It'll have your babies rocking their ponytails and barrettes and all that good stuff for their school days. These products are what you need. They are all natural. They're clean. They're affordably priced, especially considering that we use only high quality ingredients in all of our products. So please, for everybody in your family, from the infants to the elderly, we have something for you at Elegance by Design.
All right.
Cicely.
Lord help. Lord help. Keep going. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Oh, y'all, this is sold out. I told y'all, get your tickets, okay? Didn't I tell you get your tickets? Told you. All right, but this Sunday, September 26th at 6 p.m., doors open at 5 p.m. at the ICE Event Center. It is going down. What, you ask? The 4th annual Back to My Roots Fall Fashion Show is going down this Sunday. We are bringing to you 5 additional vendors in addition to Back to My Roots that are going to hit the runway with yours truly, as well as the Back to My Roots tribe. We're going to be fly out. This show has come right on together, and we are proud again to provide the community with this beautiful display of fashion, family, fun, and overall just fly. Okay, so please, I believe there are some standing room only tickets that will possibly be available. Maybe, not so sure. It's sold out as of right now, so y'all need to just follow the page so you catch the lives. Okay.
This weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, in the past there have been, not sure, because we're trying to be safe out here. But I do know if you got your tickets, you are in for an amazing show. So we'll see you guys on Sunday. And thank you for your support in advance.
Let's see.
your romantic relationship, it is important for you both to know what love, honor, and respect mean to one another and what it looks like. Many men and women in relationships have differing understandings of love, honor, and respect, which cause them to mislabel their partners as unloving, uncaring, nagging, dishonorable, and or disrespectful, when in fact your partner is attempting to love, honor, and respect you just from their story. Gottman says, for a conflict discussion to succeed, you must state your feelings as neutrally as possible and then convert any complaint about your partner into a positive need. Your goal is to give your partner a blueprint for succeeding with you. Think of your negative emotions as a clue to a hidden wish. Then express that desire directly. Learning each other's stories help us to build better understanding and responses. And if we pay attention and ask the right questions, we as partners can become helpers in our partner's healings by giving grace, mercy, and truth in a way that heals and doesn't further wound one another. To learn more and order your copy of Surviving Relationship Storms by Winfred Burns II, visit bit.ly/Blue Storms today.
So let me also let you all know. So I got an email today. Books will be here this weekend.
Hey.
So I will start shipping out y'all. For those who order, I will start shipping out your books this weekend. Woo! Listen, y'all don't understand. But yes. So
that means it'll be here in time for my vacation.
So you still have time to order. So if you have not ordered, you still have time to order. But yes, because I did, of course, order extra. Yes, Stephanie, that is the same book that you pre-ordered. And I still have your new address. Start going out this weekend. So be on the lookout. And of course, those who pre-ordered will get signed copies. Everybody who did not pre-order, you ain't getting the signed copies. So
we gonna tell y'all to get on in when we say get on in. Y'all missing shows, missing signed books. Pay attention. Yep. Focus, man.
Man, y'all don't understand this book. Whew. Anyway, I digress. So what else? Any guys here? We got any brothers in the comments? If you are
I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the fellas. If I have
Speak up, Kings. Make yourself known.
You are here, let me know. Because this weekend, our brother Darnell, if you're a brother in Oklahoma City specifically, because I want to sponsor, since I can't be there, I'm going to sponsor somebody to go to this event. So if you are a brother in Oklahoma City and you want to go to this, hit me up. I'm the first person who does. The ticket is on me.
So this is an all men's event. Oh, that's going to be cool. And listen, if you've never heard Mako's comedy, you are in for a treat.
Yes.
Y'all.
Yes. Yes.
That's a dope event. Shout out to Donnell for putting that on. Good job, bro. Good job.
Yes. So we are. Yeah. So if y'all are there, let me know. All right. Oh, last but definitely not least, and tomorrow. Listen, we got but tomorrow. Y'all join us tomorrow on Club. If y'all on Clubhouse, join us tomorrow at 7 Central, 8 Eastern time. We're gonna continue. We're gonna have a good conversation talking about what do you need to go from a small business to a business. So y'all know. So a lot of us, yeah.
No, I'm I'm sitting here looking at this fire like, nope, I'm gonna have to put him behind me. But then I thought if I put you in that blue suit behind me, it's gonna look like a totally different flyer. So we gotta figure something else out.
No, you're not putting me in the blue suit.
Yeah, I can't quite figure that changes the whole vibe of That was a sidebar thing, but I was like, this is quick as I thought.
We got to take new pictures. That's all it boils down
to. It's time.
We have to take more pictures. Yeah.
Because there's 2 of us on this show, sir.
But until we get pictures where it's just the 2 of us, it's gonna be one at a time.
One at a time.
You're not gonna have me looking like a pimp standing behind you.
You know, that's what I thought. Like, nope, that's gonna be a whole different kind of conversation.
Oh yeah, my dad roasted me so bad with the picture. He was like, what kind of pimp are you with that hat on?
Leave him alone, Papa Burns. Bro, look good in his blue suit.
He roasted
Okay.
me like a pimp. I was like, really? He's like, absolutely. He said, you look nice.
Yeah.
He said, all you missing is a cane and a fur. I'm like,
And a bottom. So if I transpose you behind me, all that's gonna give is "come here, girl" vibes. No, we ain't doing that. That is not the scoop. Okay, that is not the scoop.
Precious Lord, take my hand.
Oh,
all right, so yeah, so y'all join us tomorrow.
Tomorrow's gonna be fun. Obviously, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. So y'all join. And if you need to invite the clubhouse, I got a couple. So
yes, this one's Zaddy.
Oh, God. All right. No. All right, here we go.
This was a good one.
Yeah. My single sisters, if you can't sustain your household financially, you should not be praying for a husband. You should be petitioning God to guide you on how to live within your means. Let's learn to budget and not be a crutch to your potential mate. You shouldn't need a miracle every month to pay your bills.
Yeah, I don't think the only thing you should be praying for is a husband. You can pray for a husband. Husbands do more than pay bills. So I don't see there's no problem with praying for a husband. But while you praying for that man, pray to be prepared for that man so that you can be a help instead of the crutch that she's talking about. But I agree. Like, I think we shouldn't have any problems with this. The only edit I had was you can add that, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can add the husband, but be prepared for him. I had a friend of mine, like, before she got married, her fiance, like, helped her get her credit and stuff together. There was a certain level of debt that had to be paid down prior to them getting together. He had her set up on certain auto pay situations, and, you know, things were just being taken care of. He was helping her shift her mindset to prepare them for marriage. So, like, I get it. Mm-hmm. And she prayed for that. She wanted someone to help her get her life on track so that she could live the life that she wanted to be able to lead. She knew she needed help with that. So she found a man that was willing to help her with that. And then sis got her stuff together. They got married. They built them a house. They live in a life. You know what I mean? Like, things worked out. So, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Be prepared for the husband and be prepared for the husband. like actually prepare for the husband and the marriage, if that's what you're going to do.
Yep.
You know, I'm team get your coin, sis. Like, your coin.
Everybody, yeah.
I have no sympathy for a woman who's left destitute after a divorce. Like, I got the mama from the Madea movie. Every time I think about that word, I see the way she slumped in that seat. You destitute.
Yeah.
Well, be me in mind, okay? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I agree with Shanae. I think that's that is true. That I know, I recognize that there are a lot of ladies who would not accept that type of leadership, and there's not a lot of ladies who will not accept a man saying that to them because that's my money. I do it, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I agree with you. Her point being, don't be praying for a husband to come and save you. Save you from the situation. She's absolutely correct that you should not be doing that because that's not fair to him, and it's not really not fair to yourself too, because you still need the discipline to learn how to control your own finances and whatnot. And again, and you're like using your the person who you're referring to, had he come along and tried to do this and she resisted,
sis would still be single because he was serious.
still praying for her husband.
Yeah, she would still be praying for that husband. But if she didn't pray to be prepared for it, because she knew also I need to shift what I'm doing. What I'm doing ain't it. I ain't trying to be in this space anymore. I need to do that. And I need someone who's already doing that to show me.
Yeah. I
thought that was really dope for us to, because this was years and years ago that this happened. But I thought, go ahead. That's how you do that.
But I think as a man, that would be dope for somebody to say that, like, hey,
oh yeah,
this is where I am. I'm here to learn. I'm good. This what you do it. Go for it. Have at it.
Yeah.
So I would be okay with that. And I'm sure, I'm guessing, but I'm sure there were some things that even during that phase that she was doing to help him. So it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
He was looking at it like, he's not getting anything even out of that phase. That there was an exchange of things that were happening in that relationship where he was benefiting too. Not like, well, someday out there I'm gonna benefit from this once she got that. No, I'm sure there was other areas that she was stepping it up and
it appears as so. I wasn't friends with him as close as I was with her, but it did appear as though his cup was being filled as well. So yes.
That's the way it should be. This one caused a whole lot of grief this week.
Uh-oh.
This actually was sent to me, so I wasn't surprised, but yeah. Yeah. Some of our good buddy Taurus Sense says, I wouldn't sit in any church congregation that's urging me to wait till marriage to have sex, but also ain't actively helping me meet men and get married. You were not designed to be 35 plus and dealing with your sexual needs not being met. Thoughts?
This is one of those, again, where we put a lot of thoughts into one post and hope that we all figure it out in the end. But with just giving it as it's written, it's like, what?
Yeah.
So like, I see where she's going. I think I read this as those folks who are in the church 24/7, 365, are waiting on God to magically send them this mate. And they're not engaging in any type of dating, any type of social engagement that is not ordained and offered through said church. There are people who feel that their mate is going to magically materialize at the altar, and that's just going to be who they're going to live forever with. So I think this person, Torah, is basically saying we need active, engaged, real life, grounded marriage ministries in these churches. If we're going to preach, you have to be abstinent. You have to wait for the one. I need you helping me to be prepared for that one. There needs to be a marriage ministry that is active in helping me reach that goal, because our bodies are going to do what our bodies are going to do. And keep telling folks that you just going to have to outwill your body because God said so ain't working. So she's saying, I'm not going to fall for that okie doke and come in here and lie to you and me every week and play like I'm not going to do what my body says I need to go do. I need you helping me to either put me in the space with these people or helping me to prepare myself so that when I do encounter these people, I'm ready to live this life I'm trying to walk. That's what I got from this when I got through all the dots. There's a lot between the ellipses that we leave. So whenever we leave these things, I'm like, we lumping all these thoughts together. But yeah, I get it. Like, don't prepare me for this magical thing. Don't set me up for this magical thing and then I'm not prepared for it. Don't help me. Help prepare me. Which I don't think that's too big for the church. They shouldn't be the only ones that's doing it. But for people who are fully engaged like that, I think there should be a decent amount of time and energy devoted to a grounded real-time marriage ministry. This is from someone who does not go to church. By the way.
That part doesn't bother me at all. I agree with that there should be active singles, marriage, dating, sex, all those types of discussions, and that's a part of the community. So I agree with that part. So the parts that I disagree with. I take this in parts. So first part, second part, third part. So obviously the urging you to wait until sex, but not helping you, like the actively helping. The church's primary responsibility is not to help you find a mate.
Yeah.
But I agree there should be a part of your community engagement with the church. So telling you not to wait until marriage has but those are two separate things is my point. Like they're really kind of two separate things. They're telling you not to wait for a different reason than getting married. So it's like, no, we're you still, because even.
What do you mean by that? Go.
Okay, so the reason the church tells you not to have sex until you're married is for spiritual as well as physical and emotional reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So we're telling you that for those reasons, like don't do this until this, because these things are the things that God wants you to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
So, but our primary objective is to get you in and get you to experience this relationship with God. And at the same, like we're doing that. And as a concept, as a part of this experience that you're having with God, a part of it is sex. But it's also really the not sexual having sex. The grand scheme of it is about being able to control your body and to not let your body and your thoughts and your mind control you. Marriage becomes a part of the experience that most people have, but we also recognize that there are some people who will never get married. So we can't say, like, even if I actively help you, everybody ain't getting married. So I have to still, and even if you do get married, this whole waiting till you have sex, waiting till marriage to have sex, to learn to control yourself, is not something that goes away once you get married, because you're still going to have urges and desires that need to be controlled inside the confines of the marriage. So it's bigger than just, let me try to tell you not to have sex, but at the same time, let's help you find a spouse. Like, I think we should be, again, we definitely.
Yeah. No, I'm not. This look is me chewing on what you said, because I don't think that part is why I don't really understand, because we have no problems discussing control when it comes to certain other things in the church, but we don't emphasize that abstaining from sex is a need for control of self. That's not how that's often communicated. It's always connected to sex until marriage.
Right.
Which is why everyone rushes out and has sex. I think it goes out and gets married so that now we can have all of the sex, and we still miss that control piece, right, and that self-control piece, and how important that is, not only to your walk with God, but as your day-to-day life. So I think that, that makes sense. We just, again, rebranding, like some of these messages. That's not how it was taught to me. That's not how we hear it when we see it now. Like that's not discussed as far as how our self-control helps us to lead better lives. We have less temptation, like all of those things when we set ourselves with a different self standard, instead of meeting the standard of the church, God, all of this other stuff. It's about controlling you for you. You know what I mean? And that's going to help you be closer to all those other things. That's not how it's been positioned. That would be an easier conversation to have if given that way.
And then we actually do the opposite by telling you, if you have these urges and you're with somebody, that must mean you need to hurry up and get married, because this is the way to deal with those urges. So we actually do the exact opposite at times, the way we teach it. So it's a problem. The other thing, this whole you're not designed to be 35 plus dealing with your sexual needs, again, same thing. You're going to be in most married people will tell you you're gonna be 30, you're gonna be married at 35. And there's a strong there's a strong possibility that you're gonna be married and realizing that your sexual needs are not being met.
Mhm.
So in the confines of marriage, it's a lot to it. And I know what she means. She means in the biblical context, most women were married around 13, 14 years old. Most, but then there were also like contextually where I have an issue is most men were dotting in the Bible. So let's call it what it is.
Dotting was the thing.
Yeah. So men were out there dotting. Women were supposed to not. We're supposed to save themselves, but they were doing it at 13 as opposed to 35. So like it's not the design. There was no age design. God wasn't like, ooh, at the age of 15, he should not have to deal with his sexual needs not being met. No, that was just a cultural thing that we did that determined that now we've since said 13 is probably too young to be able to make that decision. Let's wait until they're 18 so they can legally be adults and legally get married, and anything before that consider assault or So again, I get what she was trying to say, but I think we just have to like think a little more critically about it. And I do call words. Yeah, and I do call the church. I will call the church. I do call the church out on our terrible and destructive way of engaging these types of discussions, because we have been very destructive in trying to tell people to ignore the urges or purity culture, making women feel bad about it, not dealing with young men good enough about our self-control issues, things like that. So we've definitely not done the best of this. And then acknowledging that it is absolutely okay and normal to have sexual urges and needs and desires and wants. Like, that's okay. Like, God ain't mad at you because you want to have sex.
To me, marriage seems like the easy catch-all for all things related to the church. Like, got a problem with that? Get married. Got a problem? Like, you know what I mean? Like, all the things get answered after the marriage. Oh, all of your unruly ways, marriage, things calm down. Like, and it seems as though like that's been used to be able to avoid actual, not all churches, but like actual ministering to the actual individual. We want everybody booed up and coupled up, so now we get to speak to this union as opposed to speaking to the individual, because all of these other things that humanity brings into play have rules once you're married. All of those things have to be pared down, and I got a rule for that. There's a thing that we do for that, instead of teaching people how to actually cope and be better and have that self-control that doesn't rely on someone else being there. I shouldn't have to wait to deal with how I deal with my own human self until someone else shows up. So that, like, all of this kind of frustration that when I look at things for the church, when I think about how they always say, well, marriage, and I'm thinking, no. As someone who is married, I'm like, no, that's not gonna fix that.
Because then what makes it, listen, let's go. Because then what happens is you do it, and then you find out that that's not true. And
now you're mad at the church.
And you hey, this ain't working. And they like, well, you there now. You got to stay till death.
You stuck. Yeah. You took vows. You took vows. God don't like divorce. You know what? I didn't like my marriage. He didn't like this. He don't like a whole lot of things. What does God like?
So it's like, wait a minute. So now I either got to stay in this marriage that I hate, that I'm not getting my sexual desires met, or I could have stayed out there and been thotting it up and got my potentially got my sexual desires. So now you got really what it is. What actually happens is, and this is bad, but the married people try to force the single people to get married, but the married people want to be single. So they can do single sex. So it's like this whole weird thing. And then they still looking at you like, but you need to be married. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and really what it is they think like it's also it's what you said, but then it's also to give us the space to, even as we deal with the things that we're, the control, the things that we're having issues controlling, like if you fall, then you married, so you don't. It's not a sin. But it's like that's not the solution is not the solution is not marriage. The solution really, oh, now you're gonna get me on my preaching box. The
Sorry.
solution is the grace that you get. Like that's it. Like you get grace for that as you try and learn and to get better and to learn self-control. It's the grace. That's the gift. So it's like let people experience this grace. And when love happens, then yes, they will get married. But if not, hopefully at that point, there's a level of self-control that's gained. And again, when they get married, hopefully that control is there. Because again,
it's a whole nother level of self-control after marriage.
Yeah. Because listen, people who cheat when they get married before marriage, don't just all of a sudden stop cheating. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to do that before marriage. Because your wife, your husband gonna piss you off, and guess what's gonna be your first inclination to go do that very thing that you were doing before.
Yep.
So off soapbox.
Right. Out of pulpit.
Yeah, I get what she was doing. I get what she was trying to do. And I actually appreciate her most of the time. All right. This is actually my favorite one. The money one was the one I wanted to talk about, but this is actually my favorite one. I don't care what this is my favorite.
You've been on one lately.
I want y'all to know I've always been somewhat of a fan of Ryan Davis. But this last couple of weeks,
he's been on it. Yeah. I just want some effort in his system, and it's like I'm just going all in.
I want y'all to know. I send an offering to him.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you. I'm so glad somebody besides me is saying this, and I'm not saying I'm but somebody with a platform is speaking to this foolishness.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. So Beyond My Brain says, if all women were to magically disappear, I wouldn't give a F. I'd play my video games, engineer machines, and read philosophy all day like I do now. Ryan Davis, these dudes are different. So this is a response to the Kevin Samuels stuff, where Kevin Samuels, of course, is talking about what he's talking about. And Ryan Davis's thesis is that though Kevin Samuel says the same stuff me and Cuban saying, though Kevin Samuel says some good stuff, the worst part about him is that he has unleashed this whole what used to be quiet, soft dudes who either really don't like women or are who like to pretend like they're these masculine, high-value men, but are really weak and I just
everything. They everything. If it's a thing, it's for them.
Which is different. So that's his point, that like these dudes are different. So this is an example of something that a man said that it's like, what is he talking about? So what are your thoughts?
I agree with Ryan. These dudes are different. Like I've been saying that. Like I don't know where they came from. I don't know. I mean, because it's even been before Kevin Samuels. Like this is like it's been bubbling for a while. He just is the one that folks have allowed to be the bullhorn carrier for these dudes. But I agree, they are different. Like these are not the dudes that we grew up with, and I did not grow up with simps. And then like we grew up where we became up in the beginning of the gangster. You know what I mean? Where it wasn't cool to love on your girl no more. Like that was the end of that for us. So like I know what it looks like. I know dudes who just don't, this is not it though, and this is not cool. Like what he's saying, if all women just disappeared, I wouldn't care. That's not the flex that people think it is. Like that does not sound healthy, sir. That does not sound, what is that even saying? I don't understand that. It's no one is saying that you need. I don't know. It's hard for me to even connect to the thought processes that men who agree with statements like this make. Time and time again, I've tried to objectively engage. I've tried to ask questions, and it's just further confuses me because I just don't identify with this type of man. I don't know. These dudes are different. And I do not recommend. 0 stars. I do not recommend these dudes. These dudes would be fine. We would not care if these dudes went off to do machines in video games. No one's checking for these dudes. Like, go away, sir. Have a good time. We will send your doll directly to you. Have a good time.
Yeah, I've been saying, dudes, I'm concerned about dudes who agree with him too much, with Kevin Samuels too much,
or just this thought process. Let's not give it all to Kevin Samuels because they've identified the fact that Kevin is the trigger. So it ain't even about Kevin. It's just we just saying, okay, if you one of the ones that's just saying, stop it. You too.
Yeah. I think the problem is, again, I think we've identified what our issues with Kevin Samuels. That's not
yeah.
I think the thing is, again, is that we keep it's just different. Like, it just seems like there's just this weird, I'm going to use this word, feminine energy that comes from it that seems feminine that I don't get. Yeah, it's catty. It's just, I don't know. And again, I get the difference between I want what I'm thinking or feeling to matter. I think that's the thing, and that's fine because nobody's saying that it shouldn't.
Yep.
But it's like stuff like this. I would care if all women disappeared. But Chuck,
that would be a problem. I would care if all men disappeared. I would not want that.
Yeah. I like women. Yeah. What do you mean? I don't want to play video games all day and engineer machines and read philosophy. I don't want to do that.
That's not fun.
I don't want to sit around and read my Bible all day. Like, I just don't. What are we doing? Like, I like women. Yeah. How do you not recognize what's missing? Like, that there's a part of this feminine beautifulness that is missing in your life when they're not around, and you just okay with that?
Yeah. I don't understand where this has come from to this depth of the disregard of the other. But like the way that this comes across, because there were people in the group that agreed with Beyond My Brain, like that it was okay to be okay without women. Like, yeah, it wouldn't be so bad. Like, it wouldn't be so bad. Why we ain't missing nothing no way? And I just think to myself, what in the world? What in the world? I
think, what have you not experienced? Like, what has been your experience where that would seem okay for you? And what have you experienced? What have you not experienced? Because I think any man who has ever experienced a woman who really cares about you recognizes that you're not going to get that from any place, and you're not going to get it the way that they do it. Not the way your mama does it, not the way your woman does it, not the way your sister does it, not the way there is just a care that you're not going to get anywhere in the planet but from the woman who loves you. And you mean to tell me you would be okay if they were gone? Or you would be even to say that you would be okay if the only thing she was there for was to give you something, to sex you whenever you want. Even that to me doesn't make sense. Like, what kind of safety have you not experienced that's just okay with you? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Even the hardest dudes still like a little ladies around every once in a while. They still sprinkle a few women around among the fellas. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think is hard for me. And that's where folks start to ask about do you really like men? You know what I mean? Because, and it's not to say, it's not just flat out saying, you know, like you're gay. Like that's not even what this is saying. But like if you are perfectly fine with the removal of women, that is what this is saying. Like we're not going to go down any other rabbit holes other than what this dude is saying right here. He made this stance, and this is what he's saying. 189 likes are had here. You know what I mean? So he said if they were to magically disappear, gone, poof, finito, no more females, period, he would be okay with that. That's different. That's different. You know what I mean? And that is an acceptable thing that we are okay saying aloud, and we are actually making arguments for. That's not okay. That's not okay.
My thing is, at the end of the day, you're gonna go home after a hard day of reading philosophy and engineering machines, and just play your video. Like you don't have.
Yeah. Like who else are you gonna be around? Who does that leave if not?
What soft thigh are you gonna lay on? Like you don't want to lay on the soft thigh. I like the soft thighs. You just gonna lay on your pillow? Like you gonna do the snuggie? What are you gonna do? What? I like my soft thigh.
Yeah. These dudes are different.
I like you know spoon. Who you gonna spoon? I just got questions.
Them books, them video games,
who
that controller.
I mean, you're supposed to be the big spoon guy, but who?
We're not thinking these things through, gentlemen. What happens when you get sick? Who gonna take care of you when you get sick?
I'm not calling my boy over like, hey, I need some Tyler. Can you go give me some ass?
I'll be damn near dead. Y'all can't make it to the phone when you.
Hey! Now come on.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You wouldn't want your boy to see you like that, and that's the only way.
I'm just confused. Like
men would be extinct in less than a decade. It wouldn't take 5 years.
Because nobody going
to Corona too.
Nobody going to the doctor. Ain't nobody going to see the doctor.
Finito.
What are we doing? Like, what are we doing that we are just okay with a world without women? Jesus.
I don't want it.
Jesus Lord. No. Mm-mm. Can't do it.
Bring it back in, beyond my brain. Come back in.
Yeah,
don't go beyond. Come back in.
You're definitely beyond your brains.
Yeah, and mine too. I can't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. It makes no sense to me. All right, so dudes are different. Yeah,
somebody mentioned that he's like he's trying to take over Derek Jackson's space. I do not see him.
Oh, Ryan Davis?
Yeah, I don't see that. Not. I do not see him.
Absolutely not.
I don't even see him in the same arm as Derek Jackson, let alone the same vein. So like he's just that is not what this is doing. He is just making it plain. You know what I mean? Just laying it out. This is what it is. This is what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you listen to what he said again, he's not really tripping off of Kevin Samuels like that. He's just saying that
it's more about the followers than the actual dude.
Yeah, that the followers who have gotten emboldened by Kevin Samuels are problematic. So no. Yeah. No. That would be funny though, because he's hilarious. But anyway.
He's coming to Oklahoma City. He's gonna be at the Bricktown Comedy Club here in a minute. In a week or two, I think.
I saw him a couple years ago. He was funny.
Yeah, I might slide in the back for that.
All right, last one. Here we go. Yeah. So this is a late one. Most men don't marry the women they love or loved the most. They marry the woman that is around when they are ready to marry. Go for it.
I think this can be accurate. Very much so. I'm going to summarize what I said on the post that if you talk to men who are married young, say before 25, they will often say that the women that they married were the women who were the hold you down women that brought them through some things they may have grown up with, helped prepare them for the next stage of life. But now that they've reached to that point, they're not necessarily, it's not the whole I'm gonna leave her, she's not what I want type of thing, I'm gonna upgrade. It's they realize now the person that I was en route to is not really right for this person, but they stay out of an obligation or a reward, a I owe you this because you know you've been down, now we're gonna ride and we're gonna win together type of thing. So that's what that happens for that age range. Now you will also run into those men who are 25, or say let's go 28 and above, 35 and above, more or less, that are not married, have hit all the goals, done all of the things, and have nobody there to do them with now. That's just next. So now I've settled in my life. I'm dating. This person is here. We're checking our boxes. We enjoy one another. We love one another. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and do our thing. We can do marriage. Marriage works for us. And they ride off into the marital sunset, and it's cool. But we're not going to talk about the chick who had him with the boombox outside the window, singing the love songs and doing the mixtapes, and had his mama like, boy, who are you? Like, that's the love of the life that he, you know, if done the do-over, could probably, you know, who would ride off into the sunset with if given the do-over. So I think this is true. Like, I don't think it's true and like, oh my God, men. Like, you know what I mean? I just think it's how life can happen. And when you put it in a sentence form like this is what it can look like. I didn't see anything wrong with this statement. I actually found it to be very true based on a lot of conversations that I've had with a lot of different men in different walks of their lives.
Yeah. So I think that
so when damn.
I know. I'm gonna get that in a second. I saw it. I think that, so when I first read this, I read this as the woman that they married, the woman that they married who was around when they were ready to marry is not someone who they love. And if that's what's intended, then I disagree with that. I agree that because the person who most men would say that is the woman that they love or love the most is probably the first one, the one that hurt them, that they still got the 20-year hurdle, the 20-year hurt from college. So that's probably,
we're gonna really peel back the layers.
That's probably who the person is that they love the most. And so if that's, again, but I do think that, you know, there's a timing aspect to when we get married. Like when we are married, it's really true. When we are married, the woman who meets the need or what we believe that we're going to need for the rest of our life, that's who we love. And that's who we see a future. I do think, you know, I do wonder too, as you were talking, is there an aspect of, like, we talk a lot about how women will settle, so to speak, for a man who they might not find as attractive, or, you know, something like that, for a man that they find stability and can see themselves being with. I was thinking, like, I wonder if that's a part of this whole idea of who the woman is when we're around. Like, if maybe it's not so much that we don't, we might not love her as much as we loved the 20-year-old college person, but we see, like, we're settling, so to speak, for, we see that this is a better person for us. There's a better future potential in this person, because that other person might have had there might be some toxic things about that relationship that we really don't need for our future. So I do wonder, as you're talking, if there's a part of that we think about too, because you do start to look at women differently, or you look at the type of woman differently that you want to marry when you get into a space of, like, do I want to have kids with her? Do I want to, you know,
where you are at that point, your goals and priorities at that point absolutely shape the type of people that you end up with. You know what I mean? Rarely do you, it does happen. And, you know, y'all know I love a good, you know, we high school sweethearts and live to be 90 together type of story. I think those are beautiful, but I think they're not as realistic in these days and times with all of this access, all of this freedom, and it's just, there's so much that we have an oversaturation of things now, where before you found your person and there was really like only so much room of discovery there was going to be during that lifespan of your relationship. And by the time all of this newfangled stuff showed up, those folks were already settled in what that was going to look like. We good with that. We don't need no more of that. We good. Now, at every stage of your life, there's this push to grow and to do new things and to shed the old and to move into the new. And after so long, like, of hearing that as an indoctrination from generation to generation, there's going to be no need to settle with anything, because the idea is that you're always going to be moving into the next. So at some point, it's happening now, but at some point, we're going to no longer see the value in doing life with another person, because I'm not going to be this person in 10 years. I'm not going to be this person in 5 years. So why even bother with having to deal with shedding you for my new me? You know what I mean? So like we have to really try and identify what this means when we say we growing and all this other stuff, because like it's changing how we relationship. It's changing, because now it's okay to grow out of a person and be done and just throw all of your life away. Oh, we just grew out of each other.
Yeah, that's not healthy at all.
You know what I mean? So like that, it's not the same. We're not looking at it in the same way, because before you could start out as the 20-something with the boom box and grow into the I'm settled, we don't want to go nowhere, and that was all right. That was the growing with the person.
Right
now, you got to find the exciting person that does the adventure all the time and is willing to go with you into the new you and the da 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 da.
No, I mean, yeah, and if that's what we're doing, that's not gonna work, because I mean, the reality is, if you do that, then you're gonna be recycling people every 7 years, and that's not good.
But we're laying the groundwork for it. Like the way we're currently laying the groundwork for, it's okay to be okay without someone, something, companionship. We no longer need it. We're disposable. We're no longer adding that same value to each other.
We're treating people like commodities.
Yeah.
Isn't unfortunately, which isn't new, but yeah, if that's the overall message and consensus, then everything about growth really goes against it, because you need somebody there to grow.
Who's going to be your balance? Who's going to actually be the measure against the growth? If you're doing it with a new person every time, you're also losing your accountability. We don't like that either. You don't get to see the growth in me. You weren't here for that bad part. You only get to see the new shiny grown me.
You don't have to sit there and deal with, but you still have to sit there and deal with the results of it, because trust me, getting a new person doesn't mean that the new me doesn't bring old stuff with the new.
Yeah. And you have even less background to be able to either love me through my stuff or be able to deal. Yeah.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous, because I mean, I think anybody who's actually been in a relationship for any length of time will tell you that the beauty of the relationship is one person is found. Part of the beauty is watching one person grow, and then if you're the person who, first of all, recognizing that your growth is in an area and that other person is probably growing in a different area, and at some point you have to be the person again that helps them mature, grow in that other area, so you both continue to grow together. And it's difficult and hard, and the transitions are rough, but the beauty again is on the other side of it. It's what happens after you realize, man, and the intimacy is found when you say, man, when I can look back and say, you put up with all of that. I didn't even recognize that this is what I was doing, or this is how I was hurting us, or this is how I was hurting myself, and you were able to love me through that. Man, so now you're back into this space of deeper love, deeper intimacy, of loyalty, of vulnerability, of intimacy, because now I recognize that if you loved me enough to deal with that thing that I was that I grew out of, then man, I can really present you, or I can trust you with when you come to me and tell me that, hey, I've got this thing over here that I need to work on. Okay, like this is my partner. My partner got me, and they see something in me, and they're not trying to hurt me. They're trying to help me get better. So let me listen. Let me lean into what they're saying instead of pushing them away because I don't like being held accountable. So that's
or somebody saying, everybody else deal with that. I ain't dealing with that because you haven't had that to know that this is something you've been working on. There's no identity. They can't empathize with the work that you put in, your effort, because they weren't there for it.
Yeah.
We haven't. I don't see. No. That's again where we need more words.
We'll have
to talk about that one on another.
Yeah, I didn't mean to stop you. Is what you were saying. I'm sorry.
No. I read that and I was like, all right. Because I know Shanae's brain moves fast. I gotta catch this as she's going. But yeah, it's just when we don't give ourselves that, to me, that benefit of growing with someone and then being able to sit back and say, you know what, I recognize that effort. You see where you are now? Look at you. Look at you. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to have that, as opposed to a person not really being all that excited about the effort and the growth that you've made because they didn't really know the before. They're like, oh, yay. Well, I mean, that's kind of what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? And that in itself is deflating. You know what I mean? Because that's hard work. Humaning is hard. Doing this day to day can be hard. And having someone with you to be able to bullet point and check those boxes and be back, the accountability part is great. But to have someone also be able to congratulate you when it's all said and done, like, we don't talk about that enough. We act like that doesn't happen. That happens. That is one of the reasons why we can't all damn disappear. Your boy gonna dap you down, bro, and keep it moving. That woman is gonna do something different for you. Your man is gonna do something different for you. Like, we need each other. This whole we good. We are not good. We are anything but good. We're accomplished, but we are not good right now. Like, we are not good. No, we're doing all the things, but we are not doing this well right now.
Yep. Men and women never escape needing each other. Women are men's babies. We are born from their rib. Women give birth to them, becoming one in their child. Well, I gotta read that again. That's kind of deep.
Mm-hmm. But I see it as we're the circle. Like, we need one does not exist without the other. Saying that you're good on one is saying that you cease to exist. You no longer need life, which is just like sad.
Yeah.
That's sad to be so deep and so shallow at the same time, to not recognize how, and I wasn't trying to be shady, but like to see something so deep as our existence. You know what I mean? And to not think that through enough to think, wait a minute. Without them, there's no me. Like, how do we?
And vice versa. Yeah. Which goes us back to what Shaquita said.
Which also happens. Like, we just have to own that also happened.
Yep, it happens. Yeah. All right. Good show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Good show.
It was.
Good show.
My Tuesday that felt like a Monday that really ended up being a really good Tuesday. came on through for you, girl. I like it.
Any final thoughts?
No, this was a really good combo. Not saying poly is wrong. I'm saying that society is moving towards the why. Should I settle down with you because I'm shedding? Just join me in experiencing this life with whoever we decide we need to add. It's not bad. But, yeah. And I think that's the difference in our younger generation and us. I think if anything, they recognize the necessity of others more than we do, to the point where it's almost overkill. Everyone come in and there's space. I can love all of the people at the same damn time. My heart's big enough to love everybody. So we've overcorrected in a way. And I mean, because I can also, I'm not going to knock that really, I see where you're saying in that. Like, I can get where that's going. And honestly, I prefer that to I'm not going to relationship at all. I'd rather have more people loving on each other than no people loving on each other. Like, if we just going to get down to what's real, like, bring it in, you know what I mean? That's what we gonna do.
Everybody play their position.
That's my final thought. You know what I mean?
So you on first base, you on second base, you play.
If I got to choose, okay, don't disappear me. Okay.
So you the quarterback, you the center,
hey,
you the right receiver.
We talk about adapting. We're gonna adapt around this Mickey kids say, but that's what we're not gonna do is disappear me.
We got a whole football team going on.
Right. I'm just saying. But hopefully it'll balance itself out. But you know, that is it will. Yeah. Something's changing in how we
it'll balance itself out.
Yeah. That was funny, Shanae. I appreciate that clarity.
It will. All right, good show tonight. Good show tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. Good show tonight. Y'all make sure y'all support all of the people.
I love us. I just want to say this show brings me so much joy every week. I love y'all.
We know who's not signing up.
Okay, it's just Shaquita say disappear me. I ain't going. Bye.
Shaquita gonna be the one read. What she said? What did he say? Reading
philosophy and playing video games. To say tag me and give me a controller. Headsets and all. Just tap me in. What's my login? Oh my God.
All right, y'all. Don't forget tomorrow. Y'all join us on Clubhouse. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some business stuff. So y'all pull it. And then, even if you're not a business owner, we want to hear what you have to say, because even us as customers need to be able to have this conversation, because there's some stuff that's missing. So join us on the Scoop on Clubhouse tomorrow at 7:00. Again, if there's any guys, like if you are in Oklahoma City and you want to go to the Man Cave event, y'all hit me up. We will definitely sponsor that. And I think that's all I got.
Good stuff.
Gilla gave us a book. The book. Everybody goes potty.
Because they do.
Back to my roots. Back to my roots this weekend. So
y'all got your fits ready?
Y'all show up and y'all show out. All right. Whew.
So ready to have my Saturdays back. It's bittersweet, but we all, after the show, we look at each other like, woo. Yes.
I got to see you for a little while. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. And I'm sure
we start preparing like 6 months out. It's a constant state of show. It's just when rehearsals start is when it gets intense. Because as soon as we finish with this one, we get ready we start preparing for the show in February. So
yep. I don't think most people recognize that, but it's a lot.
No. If I know Keitha, she got next year's show in progress. It's in that notebook. Right now, it's in the notebook. If I know my sister, it's already in progress. She's thinking it up. It's coming together.
Absolutely. All right, y'all have a good night. Again, the order books, they're coming in. They're gonna start going out this weekend. So y'all have a good night. Gilla Davis book. Go to the comedy show. Go to Back to My Roots. Y'all have a good weekend. Love on each other. Love yourself. Thank you. I appreciate you. I will definitely be back tomorrow on Clubhouse. Woo. This is good.
Oh, we did forget our advertisement, huh?
Advertise everybody else tonight.
Obviously, we advertise. We got everybody else in there. Y'all have a good week.
All right,
See y'all
good
next
night.
week.